How do you actually become better at Ultimate? And what is needed to actually achieve that next level? That's what I'm gonna explain you today in this video. I want to touch on 3 different subjects that I think are most important. These are all things that I have found from personal experience, because I also just started with a dream and I figured out how to go pro. I can guarantee you, if you watch this full video, you will have a better vision at how to go to the next level and maybe even how you can go pro yourself. So the first subject I want to talk about is the mindset. A lot of people are training their muscles and their bodies very hard, but they forget to train the most important part of their body, their brain. And this is something that I've noticed in Ultimate, that a lot of people neglect the mindset part of things. To give you a quick example why this is so important is, imagine you have player A and B, and one is a good player and the other one is a great player. In my opinion, there might not even be that much difference between the two players, but the great player will be able to perform at the highest level in the most important moments, and the good player might not be able to perform at the most important moments. Imagine you have all the tools to perform at the highest level, but every time you come in a clutch moment, you just choke and you cannot perform the way you want to perform. In my opinion, that's a great sign for you to start working on your mindset. So a couple of things that helped me develop a better mindset is reading a lot of biographies, and more importantly autobiographies, because they give you more insight on how they thought at what moment. I try to learn from them and see what they thought, what I thought at important moments, and maybe try to implement one of the things that they did to calm them down or to be able to perform at 100% at that moment. Another thing that can improve your mental game a lot is also having a great mentor. That's somebody that can change the way you view things. A great example is something that I learned from somebody who I view as my mentor a couple of years ago, and he implemented the mindset of what a challenge to me. Basically explained the what a challenge mindset is, instead of saying, oh, why me, why did this happen to me, why does this have to be so hard, you can say, what a challenge that I get to try this and try to overcome this hard challenge that's in front of me. A quick example to make this a little more tangible for you guys is, for example, you plan the throwing workout today and you wake up and you check your weather app and you see the weather is going to be bad the whole day. You don't feel like going outside, it's raining, it's windy, it's not fun. You can say, what a challenge that I get to try to improve my throwing skills in the rain, in the wind, because you never know, you might play a tournament that's very important to you in the rain and in the wind. And then you get to train already in those conditions. And no matter how you twist it or turn it, it's gonna make you better. The second subject I would like to discuss is stealing. Now this might sound weird, but hear me out. A lot of players, when they start to play the game or when they develop their game, they want to have their own playing style. And while that's very okay and everybody eventually will have their own playing style, the reason I became the player I am today is because I stole aspects from different players' games. How I do this is I look at high level games and I look at players that have a style similar to me or that play a role that I want to play in the game. In my case, I looked a lot at deep receivers. I looked at the way that they set up their cuts, the way they cleared for their teammates, and I used to clip it and just watch it over and over again and see how they did it, where they made what cut, how they timed their cut off of the thrower. Then in practice I used to try the moves that I looked for in the clips and then see if it works for me or see if it's not working for me. If it did work for me, I tried to make it automatic so that I can just not think about anything and just execute. I hear you guys thinking already, but that's just copying somebody's style. That's not your unique playing style. Trust me, even if you try to copy somebody like perfectly, you will still twist it to your own way of playing and you will still have your own individual style, so don't worry. One thing that also helps is not taking all the skills from one person. I think my game was developed by maybe 10 or 15 different deep receivers. And of course you can also just develop your own skill set a little bit. One important mindset to have in this process is that you want to mimic a skill. You don't want to mimic a player. If you try to mimic a player, you're gonna play like somebody that you're not and it's not gonna work out. And then the last thing that I think is very important is investing. Now, if you really want to grow your game and you want to step to the next level, how do you grow something or how do you become bigger in something? You start investing in the future. And I think this was maybe the most important part for me to go from being a normal guy to going pro. Let me elaborate. You want to look for investments that are gonna pay off in the long run in the progression of your career. Here are a couple of investments I definitely suggest you make, if you want to get to that next level, of course. The first one, and maybe immediately the most important one, a gym membership. I hate to break it to you, running 5Ks in your local park is not going to break it anymore to become top level athlete. You have to start strength training, do injury prevention, mobility, plyometrics. You need a gym. Not necessarily a gym membership, but then a home gym, which is even more expensive. So I would say you either need to invest in a trainer who makes a plan for you, or invest in the time and the money to educate yourself on how to make your own training plan. It's not super hard to increase your strength in the gym and your power in the gym, but it's harder to transfer that strength and that power to the field. Now this is one of the things that I do. If you want to get your personal plan, just shoot me a DM and we can work things out. Then another thing I would suggest that's helped me a lot in the last couple of years is an ice bath. For me, the difference between taking an ice bath and not taking an ice bath can mean so much difference, especially during tournaments. And apart from a physical recovery standpoint, this is also a mental training. Because try to get in an ice bath on a Sunday morning when it's cold outside. You'll understand what I mean. And then the last thing that I would suggest you invest in is proper gear. If you play in bad shoes or bad cleats, your feet might hold up for the first 5, 10, maybe 15 years, but when you're 40 and you're not going to be able to walk, you're going to have wished that you wore better shoes. That being said, I talked about the main things that I would do to progress your ultimate career. So the 3 topics were mindset, stealing, and investing. The last 2 sound like really bad financial advice. If you think I forgot something, let me know in the comments, and let me know what helped you to progress your ultimate career. If you made it all the way through the video, thank you so much for watching. I hope I inspired you. I hope I gave you some tips to progress your ultimate career. And as always, have a blessed day everybody, and see y'all in the next one.